someone to help me with my derivatives. I can't seem to understand the basic rules.
I'm the derivative fairy godmother, and I can help you. But first things first, you aren't drinking, are you?
No.
'Cause you can't drink and drive.
Oh,
Let's get started. So first thing you need to know is what to use to represent derivatives. And you can use d over dx, f prime of x, or y prime. Those all mean the derivative.
Okay.
You also need to know that the derivative of a function equals the slope of the tangent of that function.
Alrighty.
Well, seems like we can look at the rules now.
Yay!
Let's first start with the constant rule. Whatever constant you're taking the derivative of, be it 1, 5, or 10,000, it's always going to be 0. So the derivative of 5 is 0. Also, let's look at the power rule. What you're going to do for these is you take the exponent and bring it down in front, and then you subtract 1 from the exponent. So for this example, x to the 4th is going to be 4 times x to the 3rd.
Okay. Alright, so now for the constant multiple rule. First you have your constant times your function, which would equal your constant times the derivative of your function. So, for example, if you had 3x to the negative 2, this would stay 3, and this would become 2x to the negative 3. So that would be 6x to the negative 3.
Oh, that was close, Maddie. But remember, you gotta bring the negative down also.
Aw, man.
Don't forget the negative. Now, the sum and difference rule is pretty much like the constant multiple rule. Remember how we took the exponent down, multiplied by the constant, and then just subtracted 1?
Yep.
Well, you're gonna do the same thing, but just keep whatever sign is in the center there. So for 3x to the 4th minus 6 times x squared, it's gonna become 3 times 4 times x to the 3rd minus 6 times 2 times x. So it's going to be 12x to the 3rd minus 12x.
Alrighty.
Got it? Good
yeah.
job. Now, as your derivative fairy godmother, I wish I could teach you a way to just do these trig, but it's easier just to memorize them.
Alright. I got it.
Next, let's look at product rule.
I always forget that one.
Well, this is the formal equation right here, but the way I always remember it is by saying fig, figgy.
Fig, figgy.
Okay, let's take a look at this example. This function right here is going to be f of x, and this is going to be g of x. So the derivative of the first, which is going to be 1, times the regular function, 2x squared plus 2, all of that, plus the regular first function, x plus 2, times the derivative of the second. What is that? Can you tell me?
Is it 4x?
Good job!
Yes!
And then you just simplify. So it's 2x squared plus 2 plus 4x squared plus 8x, and then you combine like terms, and that's going to be 6x squared plus 8x plus 2.
Good job.
Do you want to teach me chain rule? See if you've mastered the subject?
Sure, I'll try. Alright. So, the equation is we do the derivative of f of x and then multiply, or with g of x, and then multiply it times the derivative of g of x.
Good job.
So, let's see, we bring our 2 down, and that's times x to the 8th minus 3, and this would technically be a 1.
Yes.
And then that's times, let's see, 8x to the 7th. So
And
then
then simplify.
we simplify. So that would be 16x to the 7th, and then x to the 8th minus 3.
Good job, Maddie. I think you're really getting the subject.
I think I am.
The last rule that I'm going to go over with you as your derivative fairy godmother is the quotient rule. So this is the formal definition of it right here. We're just going to start with an example. The top one is going to be f of x, and the bottom is going to be g of x, just so you can relate it to the equation. Okay, so we start with the regular g of x, which is x squared, times the derivative of the top function, which is going to be 3. And then you subtract the regular f of x, which is 3x plus 3, and then you take the derivative of the bottom, which is 2x, and then all of that divided by the bottom function, which is the g of x squared. So it's x to the 2 squared. Now we can simplify a little bit. We have 3x squared minus 3x plus 3 times 2x over x to the 4th. Now, since we know it's going to be a subtracting, we might as well just make that a plus and give the negative to the 2x just to make it easier. Now, we're going to simplify a little bit more. 3x squared plus, we can distribute this, so it's going to be negative 6x squared, and then distribute it again, minus 6x all over x to the 4th. And then, since we have like terms, we have to subtract those. So it's going to bring it back right up here. It's going to be negative 3x squared minus 6x all over x to the 4th. And that's the answer. And if you want to simplify a little bit, you could. You could take out the x. But
Okay.
that's it.
Looks pretty easy.
Yeah, not too bad. Why don't you try some now?
All right.
Okay, let's try this problem. This is like what's going to be on the AP exam. Say like a multiple choice question.
Okay.
So do you want to teach me how to do it?
Sure. All right. So first, don't you take the the denominator, like plain g of x. So just x to the 4th plus 2.
Yes.
And then you multiply that times the derivative of the numerator, which would be 6x squared minus 6.
Yes, good job.
Then you subtract that minus the numerator, which is 2x to the 3rd minus 6x,
Good job.
times,
Remember, it's right there if you forget.
oh yeah, so 4x to the 3rd. All over, let's see, 4x, or x to the 4th plus 2 squared.
Good job. Okay, now what we're going to do. Do you remember?
Now you're gonna combine, like multiply them together.
Good job. Okay, so this is going to be 6x to the 6th minus 6x to the 4th plus 12x squared minus 12. That's this side. And that is all going to be subtract. Can you tell me what that is?
Let's see, it's 8x to the 6th minus 24x to the 4th.
Good job. Now remember, since it's subtracting, we might as well just add the, make it add and then subtract right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're distributing the sign. And this is still all going to be divided by x to the 4th plus 2 squared.
Okay.
What's the next step? Do you remember?
Do you just simplify it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now that you have your sign distributed, you can just say, oh look, here are like terms. So minus 2x to the 6th. Where else are some like terms?
The 4th.
Right there,
so
right
it'd
here.
be plus 18x to the 4th.
Good job. Plus 12x squared minus 12.
That's all over x to the 4th minus 2 squared.
And that's your answer. Yay!
Yay!
I think you should try this one all by yourself, Maddie.
Alright, I'll give it a go. Okay, so this looks like product rule. So we're going to do, let's see, the derivative of the first one, which would be 12x times the second, which, let's see, we'll just do the square root 2x to the 3rd plus 1.
Now remember, Maddie, you can always write the square root of something as to the power of 1/2. You can keep it like that.
Okay.
Just a reminder.
Good to know. And then we're going to add this one. So just the function for f of the first one, square. And then the derivative of the second, so that would be is 1/2 2x to the third plus 1, and then using chain rule, this would be 6x. Like that.
Good job.
Alright, so now, let's see, I guess we combine them, right?
Oh wait, Maddie, it's supposed to be 6x squared.
Aw, man! Almost got it. Okay. So we're combining them, so this would be 12x, and then the square root of 2x to the third plus 1, and that's kind of plus, let's see, so 6 times 6 would be 36, divided by 2 is 18.
Good job.
So 18, and then so x to the fourth, and then so, oh, this is negative 1/2. So then that would be over 2x to the third plus 1 to the 1/2.
Good job. I think that looks right to me.
Alright, should I keep going?
Well, you could simplify by just getting a common denominator because those are the same. But everyone knows how to simplify. Might as well keep it like that.
Alrighty.
I'm so proud of you, Maddie. You've earned your wings. Aw, thanks.